SUPERS Corner is a show about Hudson County Schools of Technology, its students, its programs, its faculty. The show features Frank Gargiulo, Superintendent of Schools. On our first segment tonight, we will talk about New Jersey's plans for having a new teacher's evaluation system in place by the 2013-2014 school year. All 600 school districts are required by the state to have this new system ready for next year. School districts are bringing together administrators and teachers who will decide on the process for the districts, as well as the choice of the evaluation models. The state has put timelines and regulations in place that a school will have to adhere to for next year. Welcome to SUPERS Corner with Frank Gargiulo, our Superintendent of Schools. I'm John Pacino, your host, and we have Vince Nardiello, Guidance Counselor here at Hudson County School of Technology, High-Tech High School. We're going to be talking about teacher evaluation, a new teacher evaluation system. I'm going to just start it out, and I have my own opinions, but why do we need a new teacher evaluation system when it seems like we had one that was pretty good to begin with? So,
my personal opinion is we don't, right. But the people at the state and the political structure says we do. You know, it all has to do with this mentality of accountability today. And my feeling on evaluation is bad. It's bad for kids, it's bad for teachers, it's bad for principals, it's bad for everybody. We need to be validating our people, not evaluating. Evaluation is with judgment. The problem is when you say that, when I say that, it looks like you don't want to be accountable. It has nothing to do with it. We want feedback, we need feedback. Anything we do has to be with the student's best interest at heart. Mm-hmm. And when it's not done that way, or when the employee's best interest for that matter, when it's not perceived that way, right. What happens is you get a different result. When you judge people, when you make a judgment on people based on a score, a lot of things happen, but most of them are bad. Because then what happens is the state's now introducing a bunch of different evaluative instruments. Mm-hmm. I looked at them all. I don't want to mention them, but they're all well thought out and everything else.
6 or 8 of them, right?
Yeah. But they're cookie cutter things.
Right.
They're measurable things. In big respects, they're measuring the wrong things for the 21st century. They're measuring a 19th century curriculum, basically. And they're not helpful because they're tied to a student's achievement score on a test someplace that says whether you're good or bad. And to me, there's so many pitfalls in that piece that we can do a whole session for hours on it. That needs to be thought through much more thoroughly than we're doing. What happens with this piece here is that those kinds of instruments that are number driven are never good because the employee, the teacher in particular, or the student are working for that number and not for the joy of that learning piece. It kills everything about it.
Absolutely. And that's another thing. Testing is getting to be a point where I spend about 15 to 20% of my time, actual time, testing. Right. Whether it's testing every student with the PSAT to get them evaluated when they're freshmen, sophomores, juniors, advanced placement testing, the SATs. I mean, it gets to be a point where it's counterproductive. All you're doing is testing. And I don't think you could really evaluate how a teacher's teaching by how a student's testing. I think Mr. Gargiulo hit it right on the head. You really, to do it, to try to get a quantitative analysis of where a student is and show that that's how he's making progress and that's how the teacher's teaching. I just don't see it. I really don't see where that's beneficial.
I was very kind of shocked a little bit with Newark. Newark just has a new contract, teacher's contract. It's all based on merit pay. You do not get a salary increase unless you show that your students have, I guess, met the test standards that they're looking for. Otherwise, you just stay where you are, or worse, you probably lose your job. I think that's a little dangerous. I'd like to have your comments on that.
Well, it is extremely dangerous. The Newark system, what I know about it is that the money that they're doing to support that's coming from an outside source. It's not government money. It's one of the...
Facebook money?
Yeah, something, one of that group, okay? So that's one thing. So now you say to a teacher, okay, if the kids' scores go up 5%, you're going to get an increase in salary so much, okay? We have a catastrophe next year, and Facebook is taken over by OnBook or some other thing, right? And they don't exist anymore.
Right.
There's no more money there. Does this teacher stop because they're not getting their merit pay?
Right.
The teacher was supposed to do that in the first place.
Right.
That's what you paid them for in the first place.
Right.
It's ludicrous to put that extrinsic motivation out there, which kills our kids, by the way, in terms of grades, but now they're going to kill our teachers too. It can't go any other way.
It's punitive. It really is punitive on a certain
And it's
aspect.
human nature. You're going to try to teach to that test, try to make those kids to get the best score possible on that test, and you're not going to be teaching maybe the whole curriculum. It's just what you want to evaluate because that's what your job depends on.
Right.
And to me, it's counterproductive.
Listen, I'm going to have to stop it right here. It's very short, but we want to have you back, Mr. Nardiello. We appreciate it. We're going to go to another segment. We have Rob Meyer, our video instructor, our media instructor here at the school, and we've been talking about teacher evaluation. And to be a good system of evaluation, I kind of took this from the NGA review. You have to ask the questions: how good is good enough? Good enough at what? How do we know what we know, and who should decide? And I'm concerned, just like probably you are, Rob, about who's going to evaluate you and what is their credentials and how credible will their analysis be of you, and will you accept it? So it's one of my concerns. What is your concern? What are some of your concerns about this new evaluation process?
Well, similar things. What are we really looking for in these evaluations? Like you said, what area of expertise will the people that are evaluating me have? Or if not, if like you said, they have these tools that they want us to use, who devised these tools? What knowledge do they have about the workings of a classroom? And not only that, I think teaching it's not a regular job. Teachers are part of the community. It bleeds outside the classroom. Is this being taken into account? I'll be honest with you, I was a terrible high school student. Years later, I became a good student, and a lot of the lessons that my teachers in high school tried to drive through to me then that didn't work really became important to me. There's a guy called Doug Merrill at Memorial High School. I was sitting in study hall, freshman year of high school, and this guy came down and he said, "Who wants to be on TV?" And that was exciting to me. No state mandate made this guy start this television club. He was a good teacher. And good teachers are doing this stuff every day in every school in this state. And how do you gauge that?
Right. That doesn't show up on a test, does it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't show on a test. Frank?
The problem with the evaluation system, of course you know how I feel about evaluations, is that we're assuming the teachers aren't teaching well, and therefore the evaluation instrument's going to make them better teachers.
Right.
In fact, all the workshops I've gone through, a lot of it is wrapped around that. How do you help the teachers to grow, kind of thing. But to me, it's a normal process. Any school that's worth anything has a staff development program that helps teachers move along. And it's way deeper than that. If the government thinks for some reason, the Department of Education thinks that the instrument is going to be the thing that helps the teachers to grow. And it's actually way beyond that. Teachers do need better training. There's new stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff. That reverts back to their education, to where they're coming from.
Right.
How do we get a teacher ready for our system before they even get here?
Right.
Evaluation is a judgment piece, which is never going to help a teacher grow any. If you want to help a teacher grow, you got to validate what they do, and help them grow from that point on. Too much is being made by the Department of Education right now that we're going to weed out those bad teachers.
It's punitive. I mean, it's looking to get rid of bad teachers.
But that's assuming that the Schools are allowing bad teachers to exist right now.
Right.
And that may be some cases someplace, but I don't know where that would be.
Right.
Most of us are struggling to try to meet the standards of the 21st century with kids. Education is changing. Changing slowly in a world that's changing rapidly.
Right.
And we haven't adjusted to that piece yet. So my senses are we will do what the state tells us to do, but in the long run, it's probably going to be counterproductive.
I think a lot of it is a management thing as well. I mean, they've changed the tenure law, but even before, you get tenure after 3 years.
Right.
Now, to me, this becomes a management thing. If you don't know your employee 3 years in,
Yeah.
we don't have that problem in this district because the administration is engaged in what we're doing. There's good communication. There's a positive drive for us to do stuff. I think we should be used as the paradigm, quite frankly. And I think we do it right here. And the fact that now, I feel a lot of it is we're moving backwards in order to fulfill these evaluations.
Yeah.
I don't know how productive that is.
And I don't know, again, getting back to the evaluator, I don't know, say an evaluator can come into video, come into TV and really understand all the intricacies of what this program is about, and there's a variety of programs like that because they took a course for 7 hours, that makes them credible. I mean, that doesn't ring true to me.
Yeah, we have a lot of challenges. The system has a lot of challenges. The state is mixing up evaluation with good feedback.
Right.
There are certain principles that you need to be a good teacher, no matter what you are, what you're teaching. But mixing those two pieces together. See, the thing is, it's a punitive thing. It's a judgment piece. It's not really it's not a growth model. At least the teachers don't see it that way. But good administrators will turn it into that. Like this school district, we've taken the approach that any system we adopt is going to be something to help the teachers, and we're going to sell it from that point of view. We're not selling a punitive piece. Everybody knows who bad teachers are.
Right.
You don't have to go through that and spend those hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
I could tell you in a heartbeat within a month of teachers that can't teach.
Right.
It's no secret. You know what I mean? And so for the state to do this is just and a political piece to do this. It's just really a show.
Yeah.
It's not helpful.
All right, I want to thank you, Rob, for
Thank you.
being on our show. Frank, thanks once again. This is Super's Corner. I'm John Placino. Thanks for watching.